காற்றினிலே வரும் கீதம் காற்றினிலே வரும் கீதம் கண்கள் பனித்திட பொங்கும் கீதம் கல்லும் கனியும் கீதம் காற்றினிலே வரும் கீதம்.
Good evening. I am Eniasivam, 73-75 batch at UBL under Dr. ERBS. Good evening, Madam Radha Sanmasundram, Dr. Shekhar, Dr. Shankar, Dr. Bindu, and extended family of Dr. ERBS. We as students of Dr. ERBS and Dr. Radha Sanmasundram also are part of the extended family. Here too we want to recognize Dr. ERBS and record our Ninaivanjali in this program. I'll be recording as a MP3 file in the following slides along with some pictures. Thank you.
அலைபாயுதே கண்ணா என் மனம் அலைபாயுதே அலைபாயுதே கண்ணா என் மனம் அலைபாயுதே உன் ஆனந்த மோகன வேணுகானமதில் அலைபாயுதே கண்ணா என் மனம் அலைபாயுதே. பழகி வந்த புதிய சுகம் பாதியிலே முடிந்தாலும் எழுதி வைத்த ஓவியம் இருக்கின்றாய் இதயத்தில் நீ இதயத்தில் நீ. முறை ஒன்றும் இல்லை மறைமூர்த்தி கண்ணா முறை ஒன்றும் இல்லை கண்ணா. பசுமை நிறைந்த நினைவுகளே ஆடித் திரிந்த பறவைகளே பழகி கழித்த தோழர்களே பறந்து செல்கின்றோம். பசுமை நிறைந்த நினைவுகளே ஆடித் திரிந்த பறவைகளே பழகி கழித்த தோழர்களே பறந்து செல்கின்றோம்.
I'm Eniasivam. My recollections of my time at UBL and Dr. ERBS. I can with certain say that I was the naughtiest student in the history of UBL. I hold the record on that. We were 7 of us from Pachapas joined biochemistry that year. At Pachapas, we were not used to weekly or interim tests, only the university finals. Now, coming to UBL, our world drastically changed. Confining to a small class of 17 under the direct observations and supervisions of professors. I didn't realize the importance of university department and how prestigious to get a seat when compared to other MSc courses in Tamil Nadu. Professor ERBS taught us carbohydrate chemistry and metabolism. The class was always at the cellar downstairs. First, he taught Krebs cycle. At the end of first week, he gave us a test. I did not prepare for the test. The test was like a university exam with the 8-page booklet that had letters like F, A, and all for the batch. In front of me, my batchmate Malati always sits. Malati writes so much so fast. By the time I could write half a page, she would finish the first booklet and ask for additional books. Looking at her, I would fret. One thing about me is I am very candid both in personal and professional life. There was a question on Krebs cycle. All that I remembered was that there was a circle, oxaloacetate, and two ATPs. Since I didn't know all the answer, I turned in my answer sheet empty, just put my name on it. I didn't feel bad about it whatsoever. 2 days later, my father was at my hostel room very early in the morning. He traveled far from, 240, 50 miles from Rasipuram in Salem district by overnight train. It, I was shocked to see him as that was the first week into the course. He told me that he received a letter from professor to come and meet him. Even then I didn't realize or I didn't have any clue why professor wanted my dad come over. Like professor, my dad was a highly respected headmaster in Salem district. Many of his students are were who is who of Tamil Nadu and elsewhere. Professor was not aware of that until later on. That morning, my dad and I went and met Professor at the office. He greeted my father, "Vanga sir," and took out my blank answer sheet and put it on the table and told him to take me away from the program. He was upset that he had an irresponsible student in his department. At that moment, it was like lightning struck me. I was completely taken back in shame. I wasn't sorry for the way I handled the exam, but I felt so bad that I let my dad to face that awkward moment and he had to compromise his pride for his only son. My dad pleaded to him and told the professor that he would see to it that I would be better prepared for exams to come. Hence, here is where professor stands out. The very next day, he was himself and என்ன ராஜா அப்பா போயிட்டாரா சரியா படி என்ன. This was like the whole iceberg melting instantly. So I felt at ease. Not that I excelled after that, but managed to skate through. Professor never held any grudges. He selected students from all remote corners of Tamil Nadu, including students who did Tamil medium. There was a tremendous respect for him from all the students without any fear. He will enlighten students and engineer solutions for for their inadequacies in all aspects. I was so playful all along. During the first year finals, Kubera Sampath, Arulmoli, and Kuber and Arul are my batchmates, used to go to IIT grounds to study. Kuber and Arul would study all day long. I would study selectively some and couldn't complete the subject matter and was not prepared for the exams in earnest. IIT had an open air theatre. That weekend, they were screening Rajesh Khanna's movie Namakaram in 70 for the first time. I went for that movie and the next day was the finals. You can imagine what could be the outcome at that exam. First year I flunked. This is where professor and madam stand out so different from other university professors. Every student were part of their family. We felt the affection they showed every step of the way. They would ask the students who have difficulty in comprehending the subject matter and coping with the course to go over to their house on weekends. While professor helped madam with vegetables in cooking, they both will guide us how to study and prepare for the exam. This will They will feed us too. I was a beneficiary to that at large. This humility and interest in betterment of the students is unmatched and stand out in the history of University of Madras and deserve a badge of honor. This very gesture attracted me to professor and madam. My fondness for them to date is unwavered. During first year bio day celebration, I mimicked professor's mannerism candidly. It didn't go well. I regretted for that after facts. Though professor and madam never were clearly not at ease, they took it in stride. Here is where professor's magnanimity showcased. He held no grudges whatsoever. That is his brilliance. No one should take him for granted, though. He was brilliant in his craft. Second year, department was planning a tour to ERCOT. My sister and my brother-in-law has an estate in ERCOT and a big bungalow. So I was airing this to my sister and my brother-in-law. They said, uh, please invite them over. We will take care of their stay and we will host them. So they engaged cooks and arranged food and stay for the entire department. Even today, everyone who went on that trip remembers that, talks about it. It did a lasting impression with Professor, Madam, Shekhar, Shankar, and Bindu. Professor made us at home with his signature wink, shoulder jerk, and Yenaraja, Madam. That is so typical of him, and that is his signature. He walked the collegial and academic landmines and guarded his territory with zeal. Chanakya without any doubt. Needless to say, his passion for biochemistry, guiding over 60 PhD students, is no small feat. Most of them have turned out to be brilliant scientists and contribute path-breaking discoveries to date. Many of his students work in NIH, FDA, and health industry in USA and around the globe. Like a banyan tree, his legacy spreads wide and will live through ages. He was a family man, showered his unwavering love and steadfast focus and interest in his children, Dr. Shankar, Dr. Shekhar, and Dr. Bindu, to learn Bharatanatyam and Carnatic music, besides, besides motivating them to excel in academics. Now they reap the fruits of their labor. Dr. Shankar, an oncologist, Dr. Shekhar, a brilliant engineer, and Dr. Bindu Shankar runs a highly successful Bharatanatyam school in San Ramon, California, with over 150 students. Madam stood by Dr. Professor ERBS personally and professionally, and was a pillar of support all along. She is very even-keeled personality and led the family and the departments so thoroughly well. Professor ERBS was bold and a defining personality that everyone, friends and foe alike, respected him. While sadness haunts us with his demise, it begs us to celebrate his laurels in no uncertain terms. That is why this Ninaivanjali. I have no doubt he will live with us eternally, and we will relish his lighter moments with joy. Many of his May his soul Rest in peace. Good night.